Shadows of the beacon of road to Cape Harrow twisted, like a serpent along the rugged Maine coastline, where the Atlantic Ocean clawed at the cliffs with relentless fury. Ilera Voss, 28 and fiercely determined, navigated her rented SUV through the gathering dusk, her mind buzzing with anticipation. As a paranormal investigator with a thriving YouTube channel called Voss Visions, she had debunked dozens of hauntings, faulty plumbing masquerading as ghostly moans, dust orbs mistaken for spirits. But the Harrow Light was a legend that refused to die. Built in 1857, the lighthouse had stood as a beacon for sailors until its decommissioning in 1998. Now, it was a crumbling monument to forgotten tragedies, whispered about in fishing villages as the home of a restless ghost. Ilera had received hundreds of tips about the place. Viewers emailed stories of strange lights flickering in the lantern room long after the power was cut, of cries echoing across the waves like a woman's lament, and of a shadowy figure pacing the gallery, forever watching the sea. The ghost was said to be Captain Elias Thorne, the last keeper, who vanished during a brutal nor'easter in 1892. Legend claimed he drowned while signaling a distress ship. His body never recovered, but darker rumors persisted. That Thorne had murdered his wife, Amelia, in a fit of jealousy, and his spirit was cursed to relive the crime. "This is going to be huge," Ilera muttered to herself, glancing at the equipment piled in the back seat. EMF meters, thermal cameras, motion sensors, and a spirit box for capturing electronic voice phenomena. She planned an overnight live stream, her biggest yet. If it was a hoax, she'd expose it. If not, well, that could make her famous. The village of Harrow's End appeared like a ghost itself, a cluster of salt-weathered cottages huddled against the wind. Ilera stopped at the Salty Dog Pub for supplies and intel. The interior was dim, smelling of fried fish and stale beer. A group of locals eyed her suspiciously as she ordered a coffee. "You're that ghost hunter girl," said an old fisherman with a beard like tangled kelp, his name tag reading Hargrove. "Come to poke around the light?" Ilera nodded, pulling out a recorder. "Heard any good stories lately?" Hargrove leaned in, his voice a gravelly whisper. Captain Thorne was a hard man. Married Amelia, a beauty from Boston, but she hated the isolation. They say she had a lover, a sailor, and Thorne found out. Pushed her from the gallery during the storm of '92. Covered it up by claiming he was rescuing a ship. But the sea don't forget betrayals. His light still burns some nights, and you hear her screaming. A younger man, Finn, chimed in from the bar. Last fool who stayed, there was a writer in 2005. Found him at the base of the cliffs, note in his pocket. "The sea calls me home. Stay away, lass." Ilera thanked him with a skeptical smile, but their words lingered like fog as she drove the final mile to the lighthouse. The tower rose 80 feet tall, its white paint flaking like dead skin. The iron door rusted but unlocked as promised by the Historical Society. She signed the waiver digitally, absolving them of liability for any supernatural or psychological distress, and stepped inside. The keeper's quarters at the base were sparse. A narrow bed with a threadbare quilt, a wood stove coal from disuse, and shelves lined with faded logbooks and nautical charts. Dust coated everything, and the air held a briny chill. Ilera set up her base camp methodically. Cameras on tripods in the quarters, midway up the spiral staircase and in the lantern room. Motion sensors blinked to life on each landing. She tested the live stream. The satellite booster ensured a strong signal, despite the remote location. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in bloody hues, Ilera went live. "Hey, visionaries. Ilera Voss here at the infamous Harrow Light. Tonight, we're diving into the legend of Captain Elias Thorne and his tragic wife, Amelia. Was it a heroic death or something sinister? I'll be investigating all night. EMF readings, EVPs, the works. Smash that like button and subscribe for real-time thrills." The chat erupted. First, "Be safe, Ilera. This place is cursed AF." She grinned, feeding off energy. Starting in the quarters, she explored, narrating for camera. "These logbooks are gold. Let's see what Thorne documented." Flipping through a leather-bound volume, she read aloud. August 22nd, 1892. "Seas calm. Amelia complains of headaches again. She spends hours on the gallery, staring at the horizon as if expecting a ship. Illyra paused, her finger tracing the faded ink. Amelia died officially of consumption that year, but locals think Thorne had a hand in it. Jealousy over a lover, maybe? She climbed the staircase, 120 steps of clanging iron that echoed like distant thunder. The air grew colder with each ascent, the wind whistling through cracks in the tower. At the top, the lantern room was a glass-walled eyrie, the massive Fresnel lens, an intricate web of prisms, dominating the space. It hadn't functioned in years, yet Illyra felt an odd vibration, like the hum of trapped energy. Baseline EMF is 0.4 milligauss, totally normal, she reported, panning the camera over the view. The ocean stretched endless, waves crashing against the rocks below like hungry beasts. No signs of activity yet. Let's kick off an EVP session. She activated the spirit box, the device scanning radio frequencies in rapid bursts of static. Captain Thor, are you here? Did you die saving a ship? Silence, then a fragmented voice amid the noise. Lies? Illyra's eyes widened. Did you hear that? Lies? Okay, Spirit, what lies? Tell me more. More static. Betrayed. See. Claims. The chat went wild. Holy crap. That's Thorne. Fake voice app LOL. Illyra laughed nervously. Could be radio bleed, but let's see. She set up the thermal camera, scanning for cold spots. The screen showed uniform blues, until a humanoid shape bloomed in red, then vanished. Thermal anomaly. Human size gone now. Her heart quickened, but she maintained composure. Probably a draft. Hours passed in tense quiet. Midnight arrived, the wind picking up, rattling the windows like impatient spirits. Illyra sipped coffee, reading more logs. October 29th, 1892. Amelia accuses me of madness. Her letters. I cannot abide. The storm approaches. Letters? Illyra murmured, searching the shelves. She found a hidden compartment behind a loose panel, a bundle of envelopes tied with faded ribbon. Amelia's handwriting. Dearest James, the lighthouse is a prison. Elias suspects nothing, but I dream of your ship returning. Viewers, jackpot. Love letters to a sailor named James. If Thorne found these, that could explain the murder rumor. She pocketed them for later analysis. At 1:47 a.m., the first major event hit. The EMF meter screeched, spiking to 7.1 milligauss. Illyra bolted to her feet. Huge reading in the lantern room. She grabbed the camera, ascending the stairs. Halfway up, footsteps echoed above, slow, heavy boots on metal. Hello? Is someone there? No answer. The motion sensor blared, lights flashing red. At the top, the room was empty, but the Fresnel lens glowed faintly, a pale blue pulse like a dying star. The light's activating, but it's not plugged in. Impossible. She reached out. The glass was freezing, frost forming under her palm. The spirit box crackled. Leave her alone. Her? Amelia? Illyra demanded. The glow intensified, shadows lengthening into human forms. In the reflection of the prisms, a figure appeared, a man in a 19th century oilskin coat, face gaunt, eyes hollow with rage. Thorne. Illyra spun, flashlight sweeping. Empty, but the air turned oppressive, heavy with the scent of salt water and decay. Show yourself, she challenged, voice echoing. A gust of wind slammed the gallery door open, rain lashing in like needles. Illyra staggered, her camera shaking. The chat panicked. Get out. That's him. Then a cold hand brushed her shoulder, fingers like ice digging in. Something touched me. She fled down the stairs, barring the quarters door with a chair. Breathing hard, she reviewed the footage. In the lantern room clip behind her, the figure was clear. Thorne, mouth twisted in a silent scream. And beside him, fainter, a woman in a flowing dress, hand outstretched as if pleading. Two ghosts. Illyra whispered. Thorne and Amelia? Sleep eluded her. Dreams invaded. She was Amelia, standing on the gallery, wind tearing at her dress. Thorn's face loomed, contorted with jealousy. You betrayed me with him. He shoved, and she fell, the sea rushing up. Illyria woke gasping, the room pitch black. Scratching at the door, claws, or nails. She opened it cautiously. On the floor, wet footprints, small, bare feet, leading up the stairs, puddling seawater. Amelia's prints? Illyria followed, flashlight beam trembling. The prints faded at the lantern room threshold. Inside, the air shimmered with energy. The spirit box burst. Help. He. Keeps. Me. Who? Thorn. A whisper. Yes. The woman's ghost materialized slowly, translucent at first, then sharper. Amelia, dressed tattered and sodden, hair like seaweed, eyes filled with eternal sorrow. He bound me. His guilt. Our prison. Illyria's skepticism crumbled. Tell me how to free you. Amelia's form flickered, projecting visions into Illyria's mind, the storm of 1892 raging. Amelia on the gallery, clutching a letter from James. Thorn, drunk and furious, confronting her. You whore. The sea will have you. He pushed. She screamed, body dashed on the rocks. Thorn, horrified, faked a signal to a non-existent ship, then threw himself after, but death didn't end it. Guilt trapped him, reliving the night endlessly. The vision shattered as heavy footsteps thundered up the stairs. Thorn's ghost erupted into the room, form solid and menacing, coat billowing like storm clouds. Intruder, he bellowed, voice like crashing waves. The lantern blazed alife, light spinning wildly, casting grotesque shadows that clawed at the walls. Illyria backed against the glass. You murdered her. The letters prove it. Thorn lunged, spectral hands closing around her throat, cold as the abyss. She was mine. The sea took her sins. Illyria choked, vision blurring. But Amelia surged forward, her ghost empowered by the truth spoken aloud. No more lies. Amelia cried, waves of ethereal water erupting from her form, slamming into Thorn. The lighthouse shook, bricks cracking, windows shattering in the gale. Illyria gasped for air, dodging falling debris. The letters, read them. She pulled the bundle, scattering pages. Words floated in the air, glowing. I love another. Free me. Thorn howled, weakening as the truth eroded his hold. Amelia pressed on, dragging him toward the open gallery. Lightning illuminated their struggle, ghostly forms twisting, ectoplasm swirling like foam. Join me in truth. Amelia roared. With a final, desperate push, she hurled him over the rail. Thorn's scream pierced the night, fading into the storm's roar as he vanished into the depths. Amelia turned to Illyria, her face serene. Free. Thank you. She dissolved into mist, the lantern dimming to darkness. The tower fell silent, the storm abating. Illyria collapsed, sobbing. Her live stream had captured everything. Views in the millions, chat a frenzy of disbelief and awe. As dawn broke, rescuers arrived. Choppers whirring, alerted by viewers calls authorities. Illyria was airlifted out, physically unharmed but forever changed. The Harrow Light was condemned, its legends evolving into fact. She quit debunking, authoring a bestseller, Shadows of the Beacon. But on stormy nights, she hears whispers in the wind, a woman's voice finally at peace.